Hi.
Hello.
So you can introduce yourself.
I am Ricky Radar from the band Eyes of the Elders. This fine-looking gentleman to my left is Boss Jones, guitarist and vocalist for Eyes of the Elders. How's it going, Boss?
It's going great. I'm having a great time.
Yeah. It is. It's December 3rd, 2011. We're about to play a show at the Neighborhood Theater. The first song for our set is going to be our new single, Occupy. As seen on YouTube.
Right.
Yes. So that was really distracting.
And we're just going to tell you a little bit about our song Occupy. It is sort of a tribute to the movement and in many specific ways our experiences in what the plight of the American middle class and lower class is really like, the decisions that are forced upon them and the way that they're culturally ascribed and basically beaten into shape mentally.
Why did you guys why were you motivated to write the song?
Well, at first I kind of became obsessed a little bit with just kind of following the movement via the internet, just reading articles and watching a lot of videos and stuff like that. I started following it, and then after following it for a little while, I forget which video I saw, but there was I think one of the first ones where somebody got maced, and I was just kind of taken back and appalled. And at first I was like, that shit really doesn't happen anymore. Like in America, like that only happened like in the 60s. I can't believe that it's 2011 and that's going on right now. But it was, and then it just continued to get worse. Like more and more people were getting maced, hundreds of people were getting arrested on the Brooklyn Bridge. And I think that kind of helped the movement go viral and spread, you know, out of New York into different cities. And then, you know, within like a month of the movement starting, you have hundreds of cities, not only in the U.S., but all over the world, under the same loose set of ideals. And people are pissed off, and I feel like people have been really quiet since the early 70s.
Yeah, really, like through the 80s, there was just this massive push to homogenize the whole media circuit in America. You know, people are even losing their accents to this point because Southern accents are what people are taught to be a Southern accent in the movies. It's not just an issue of economic, you know, confinement and how people are always continually and cyclically kept in the position they're in through systems of debt and basically economic servitude, but it's cultural as well. We're mass marketed this culture that nobody really signed up for. It's just a McDonald's sort of Walmart version of what the American lifestyle is supposed to be, and there's untold damages from it. Our health as a people is completely failing. Our education system is failing because people are taught that they're not supposed to learn anything or nobody will like them. It's a systemic problem that's brought on by the profit motive, and a big part of what we agree with in Occupy is that it's not just that there are corporations doing bad things, it's that the model of the corporation that's a bunch of people driven only by profit and not by the service that they're providing to the society is inherently flawed and needs to be relooked at.
Yeah, I think that, you know, at first, and still now, there's thousands of people that look at that and make fun of the people that are involved in it. They're like, oh, you're unemployed, or you want something from us, or you're a dirty hippie, or whatever, you know. But, you know, at the very beginning, it was hard for them to get any kind of coverage at all. And then once you started seeing, you know, more arrests, more people getting maced, more people getting beaten. And these are all people that were, you know, exercising their right to freedom of speech. They're Americans living in America. They're peaceful about what they're doing, and they're getting the dog shit beat out of them by people that are supposed to be protecting them. And, you know, I think that really sparked something and has made it spread. And so now, like, you know, over the first couple of weeks, you weren't getting much mainstream coverage at all, like some MSNBC and some stuff like that. And, you know, Fox News and CNN will talk about it, but basically just to make fun of the people that are involved in it. and now I guess the movement's got a little more clout or respectability now. People are starting to
start up on its own.
Yeah.
Cities that weren't involved with to begin with are just sparking up their Occupy movements, and you don't necessarily have the same kind of momentum in every city, but every city at least has a representative part of the population that agrees and wants to carry on the idea.
So what was it? Why did you all? And I know you were the one that started the song. Why did you feel that you should do that versus other forms of coming out about Occupy?
Sure. I think the great thing about the Occupy movement is that if done correctly, it utilizes people's skills and what people are good at and passionate about. So if I were a painter, I probably would have painted something and put that on the internet and put that out there to the world, making my statement with that in support of it. But I don't. I write songs, so that was my way of, I guess, showing personal support for the movement. It was a way to get people that are either not aware of it or don't really know what it's about to kind of perk their ears up a little bit and be like, oh, well, this band that I like just wrote this song called Occupy, and I've heard something about it on the news, but I don't really know much about it. Maybe it'll give them a reason to check into it, and to spend some time with it. And really, when I sat down to write the song, I didn't really know I was writing a song about Occupy. I had gotten off work, and I was checking the mail, and I opened up a bill from Duke Power, and it said they were raising their rates 17% when they had made record profits this past year. Yet they're passing the buck onto the people, even though they're a massive corporation, and they're nothing compared to some of these larger financial institutions.
So how do you feel about the protesters that are setting up camps in Charlotte, New York City, and all over the world at this point? How do you feel their efforts are effective, or how do you feel about the movement as a whole?
I would say that, by and large, for this movement to continue to be taken seriously, the physical presence has to be maintained. I don't necessarily know that from the get-go it was the most effective way to get the idea across, but that is the identity of the Occupy movement now. That is what the movement is. So if it's going to continue along the same vein, and that sort of actual physical occupation of public spaces is what it is, and it is fairly effective representation of the people who are in the majority needing to physically occupy more space in the public realm, but not only just in the public realm. It's supposed to represent our space in the democracy we have, our space in the corporate world, our space in the business of living that we've been largely cut out of by profit-making institutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've, definitely at every little encampment in different cities all across America and the world, there are, the people that spend basically 24 hours a day there when they're not, out marching. But then there's hundreds and thousands of other people that maybe can just stop by for an afternoon and, do something to help out or volunteer. And there's other people that don't really have a lot of time to be there, but have dropped off like food and tarps and blankets and stuff that people need, just, to show that they do support that. And I've heard a lot of stories about people that work 9-to-5 jobs and will just spend weekends out there. That's what they do on the weekends. And then Monday morning, they pack their stuff up and they go to work and work Monday through Friday. But without the people that have made the sacrifice to be there basically, 24 hours a day around the clock to kind of hold the fort down, if you will, like that wouldn't be possible for other people to come in, for some hours or a couple of days at a time or whatever. So that's definitely needed in order to, I guess, keep control of the home base.
And going back to, your role with music and using music as your form of protest and making this topic you know, informing people about this topic, how do you, when you were writing the song, how did you envision the effect on people? What was your goal with that song?
I think that the main goal initially was just to be like, okay, there's a problem, you know, and millions of people see and understand that there is a problem. And it was my way of just joining in on the dialogue, or, you know, trying to initiate more of a dialogue amongst people I know, and also, you know, anyone that would see the song, you know, as maybe the beginning of a conversation piece. And, you know, there's been several comments on our YouTube channel, people that completely disagree with us, and that's okay too, you know. When you get a movement that involves so many different types of people from so many different walks of life, like, people aren't always going to agree on everything, you know, but there are a few things that I think that, you know, 98% of the people involved in the movement, like, can agree upon. And you know, that's going to be, it's already shaping itself, and it probably will continue to do so, you know, in the future, to solidify into something a little more solid.
So as Occupy followers and supporters of this movement and the things that are being discussed in this movement, what do you hope to see come out of such a big movement? You know, people are getting hurt, and really serious